How did you find the mindset towards money and things with you like wanting to grow the business?
Why do I assume people have done their thing and then they're going again?
What is it about community that helps people to thrive and to be able to have better money mindset?
But when you're starting out fresh, you need as many answers and you might find something you weren't expecting.
Welcome, I'm Tracy Irwin and I'm passionate about financial independence and wanted to share stories of inspiring entrepreneurs to prove it's possible for everyone to strive towards financial freedom. Today, I'm talking to Julie Taylor, who is commonly known as the Queen Bee. She calls herself an accidental entrepreneur and runs a networking group in the Netherlands where she lives with her husband and her dog. Oh, thank you for joining me today, Julie. I think it's snowing outside where you are today, isn't it? So kind of keeping
Oh my
warm.
word, is it ever snowing? I've never seen anything like it.
I was there in February in the Netherlands in February 2021, I think it was, and we had massive snow then. It was the dog.
Yes, during COVID. Yeah, that's the
It
last time
was,
I remember.
yeah.
Apparently, we had a sprinkling last year. I don't remember that one.
All right.
But yeah, during COVID, I was going out making snowmen on my own. I got
It
no
was cool,
pals.
wasn't it?
It was COVID, so
So,
I wasn't allowed to have pals then.
so, do you want to tell everybody how you found yourself in the Netherlands and how you
Ooh.
found yourself an accidental entrepreneur?
Yes. So moved here 2018 to support my husband's career. I was contracting at a bank and that came to an end. I was just like, what the hey, what else do you do when you're mid-40s? I'd already got the red shiny car. So it was just like, let's rehome my cats and let's just go and do something else. So because I think a bit like you, Tracy, moving countries is you'll never know until you try it.
Yeah.
And we kept our property back in the UK just in case things didn't work out.
Snap.
Um, yeah. There's another story there for it, but that one, yeah, for another
Yeah,
time.
it is for me too.
But it's just been sold, luckily, just for Christmas. So yeah, so we moved here. That was before Brexit. That was before COVID. I used to work in banking and project management, HR type of roles, and I was like, God, it'd be too easy to go work in a bank. And as a good friend of mine said to me, probably about a year ago, who didn't know how business was going, she was like, why don't you get yourself a nice, 3, 4 day a week job? And I was just like, why didn't I just go and live in my hometown and do what everybody else does? I don't like the easy life. I'm not saying it's boring. I'm sure it's for some people. So yeah, so I fell into entrepreneurship. I met my business partner through a Facebook group quite quickly after being here. We were together for 2.5 years. And then during COVID, I met a UK networking group online and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Meeting people. I'd always been sort of front of house sales type person. I've got a sales background from a long time ago and just love meeting people and curious about their stories. So that's me. I set up my networking group 3.5 years ago. And what did I know about business? Not a lot. Probably on the, as we would probably say back in the day for people of that age group, which I know Tracy's a little bit younger than me, is from the back of a fag packet, we would say, for a cigarette packet. So it's been an uphill, I'm not going to say battle because I love it. And, if, like I said, if I wanted an easy life, I'd be doing what everybody else is doing. Every day is a school day. No 2 days are the same. Even when you plan your day, it doesn't always go how it plans. Sometimes it takes the wind out your sails, but sometimes things happen for a reason. And as my husband says, and it might be the title of a book, I'm not saying I'm going to write a book. No is also an answer.
It is. And I think you have just summed up entrepreneurship in like one paragraph. It's like it is a school day every day. And we never know what's going to hit. We can have the best intentions of mind every day. And it obviously half the time it doesn't work out, does it? So it's fun.
No, it is fun. It's a ride.
It's fun. So on your journey then, like obviously not being in business at all and then suddenly finding yourself in a different country with a different as an entrepreneur, like how did you find the mindset towards money and things with you actually like wanting to grow the business?
It's interesting because I'm an accountability coach as well. So I'm always encouraging people and trying to give people confidence in themselves. But I struggle with it as well. I mean, I've had some speakers that have come and talked about money mindset, and I thought, oh, I'm fine with that. Oh, I'll good with that. And I was just like, no, I'm doing it just like everybody else, is we like creep into this market going, oh, can I charge that? Oh, can I not? Can I put my prices up? All that sort of thing. Whereas I think as I've got further in my journey, definitely feel a lot more confident. And also it gives me a bit of confidence in people when they're not penny pinching and I'm not saying, oh, you only did 59 minutes rather than an hour and all that. You know, nobody's got time for any of that shenanigans. So it's about earning it, it's about confidence, and it does come with time and experience. So I will say at the beginning, and even like, I have certain memberships that only last a certain period of time, and I just thought, oh, well, I better start offboarding them and things like that. Why am I not trying to like keep them in there? Just why do I assume people have done their thing and then they're going again? So yeah, so has been learnt, and yeah, feel a lot more empowered in the last year or two, I would say.
From your background, you've always been around people, like you said, HR roles and stuff. It's always been about the people, hasn't it? And I think
Mm.
that's what Buzz Networking is about, isn't it? It's about the people that you bring together, to give them the confidence and stuff. But so, what is it about community that helps people to thrive and to be able to have better money mindset?
Um, it's almost like holding a mirror up to somebody and saying they're worthy, which sounds very life coachy, and I'm really not that. I'm just a down to earth lady like you are, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
is um is the value you put in yourself. And I think it's only when you talk to other people and people say, no, you're not charging enough. Simple thing like my nail lady, I'm like, I'm tipping her now because she's not charging enough. And I'm just like, and also because if you charge low, people think there's not a lot of value in it, or it's like, low quality products that are included. So I'd say community builds you up. And then the whole thing with networking is I know some people come along and just go, oh, I didn't find that person in the room. And it was just like, yeah, but did you actually have a conversation with them? That I know they sell that thing, but what else do they do? And can they help you? And who do they live with? And who's their neighbors? And it's all this, and it just spreads out. And I just always talk about it, dropping a stone in a lake. And it's like sometimes the ripple comes really fast and sometimes it takes a long time. But when the time's right and the right person to work with you and do all the things, it gets you really excited. So the instant fix isn't always the right thing. God, that was a long answer to a
No,
short
that was a
question.
perfect answer. But I also needed to say I am exactly the same with my nail lady. So my nail lady is really, really busy because she's very, very good. And I'm the person that every time I go, I tell her she is undercharging to the
Yeah.
point where a couple of months ago, her notice for her pricing pot thing was a bit, let's say, bedraggled on her wall. And I said, can I go away and give you a new pricing schedule? She was like, why, are you going to put my prices up? I said, yes, we are. I said, if I come back with a new pricing schedule, I said, will you put it on your wall? And she did. And I actually, on a Saturday morning, I drove to her house because she's a friend as well. And I said, right, come on, let's tear that one down. Let's put a new one up. And she said, nobody complained. And what I gave her, because she said, what if somebody says anything? And I said, if they come with the right amount of money for what you were charging, you say, it's all right, you can have it for that price this time. However, next time, please could you bring this amount of money? She said, nobody ever even wanted the actual old price. Everyone gave me the new
Yeah.
price. And I was like, and I think it is that mirror of somebody else telling you, because like I was telling her for months, I was like, please put your prices up. I was like, yeah. She was
We
so
need to go into
busy.
nail lady coaching by the sounds of it. And we'll do
Market out
printables
there,
on
isn't there?
Canva as well. You heard it here first. Don't think we're going to make millions
Definitely.
doing
Like
that,
we can.
but
So I think there must be something in there that because they sell time for money as well, and they can't. There's not a lot they can actually do to be out of that, other than they start teaching it themselves. It's still
yeah,
time for money. They're in an industry which was really, really hard to get semi-passive income from, so they need to charge their worth. So there's
they
our
do.
rant for today.
Yes, nail ladies, put your prices up now.
Now,
And gentlemen, nail gentlemen as well.
yeah, I'm sure there is some.
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure. So if we go back to networking, I really like what we said
Mm.
about sometimes the ripple comes back quicker than others. And I it's really hard sometimes when you go into a networking session, and I've been to lots of networking sessions, and then I always connect with people afterwards, and then I ask them if they want a one-to-one. And in most cases, I only get about a 30% uptake. And I feel like people think I'm going to sell to them, and I'm not. I genuinely want to get to know them. And I'm really surprised. But the UK, the networking event that you're talking about is like how we met, isn't it? Through Revitalize and stuff anyway. And when
Well,
I got,
we actually met through another network, but we won't.
oh, we
We'll
did.
say it's revitalized for this one. We'll cut that bit out. Yeah.
Yeah, because Leah loved that when he's listening to this.
Thank you, Lee.
But what I really like about Revitalize is the uptake for my one-to-ones is about 80%. There is still some that I haven't, I've asked for a one-to-one and they've not replied, but actually the uptake in that environment, because Lee teaches that everything's in the money is in the follow-up. Actually, and I think that's what it is about, isn't it? Connections come by getting to know each other. Like I've spoke to some people in after on one-to-ones. I don't even talk about business. At the end of it, they
No.
go, "We haven't talked about what we do." I'm like, "I
What
know,
was
but I
that
know you
about?
so much better."
Exactly. Exactly. And we're allowed to have fun. You're allowed to have fun. Don't get me wrong, if your diary's full of just chit chat, coffee chat that we talk about nail ladies and dogs and things like that and never talk about work, then might need to check ourselves.
Yes.
But I totally agree. It's about that personal connection, about making sure that, if the if the time's right and the situation's right, you already know that person, you know the right person that you want to work with. And we get to choose as business owners.
Yes, we do.
So
And we get
why
to choose
not?
who we like
Yes.
recommend our clients to as well. So if we've got a client that has a problem, like because we're both in that space where we do help our clients, then our that's where our networking comes in. For people to look at when they're networking just to sell to that person
Yeah.
isn't isn't the best way to look at it because you just don't know who they're talking to every day. And I might not want that person's. I mean, quite a lot of the time, especially people in the UK, by the way, they might. We probably don't want their services because we're not in the right country. But actually, we talk to lots of people who could, and I think
Yeah,
that's where some
indeed.
people like are a bit blind to, and that's where, like, that you need to think about the money comes when you build relationships, doesn't it? Rather than trying to
Definitely.
sell to everybody.
Definitely. And I did have a one-to-one with somebody quite early on in my business, and she said, "Do I have to pay you for leads?" And I was like, well, I don't know if they're going to convert. You need to go and have the conversation.
Yeah.
So I said, the thing that makes me happy is you come back and tell me how it went. Because like one of my favorite stories that I like to share is two people met at one of my in-person sessions. They both disappeared. I was like, oh, okay. So I popped up on LinkedIn and they were working together on this book for children go through cancer. And it was that gives me goosebumps. It doesn't give me
Wow.
money in the bank, but it makes me happy.
Yeah.
And you know what? All these things make a business and just, I don't want to take money off people that I never see, don't like what they do, what's happening. And I just say, I introduce you to you owe me a percent. Well, we've got networking groups for that. And I can
Yeah.
direct them to that place. And it's not anywhere near me. I think you know which one I mean.
I know. I was in the one 25 years
Oh,
ago.
is you? Oh, you've recovered, have you? It's
Do you
got
know
its
what?
uses. It's got its uses. It
It
really
did. So
has.
when I first went to my ever first networking meeting, I was 26. I had never been to a networking event before. I still worked for a living for the electrical contractors, and I got told about 2 days before I'd have to sort of speak 60 seconds on myself. And I was like, I still hate that now, Julie, by the way, right?
Oh,
I can
no.
stand on stage in front of 500 people and teach them something. You asked me to do 60 seconds on myself, I still get nervous. I don't enjoy it. It's not part of the visibility stuff that I enjoy. But that first day, I'd practiced, I'd written it, I'd practiced everything in the mirror loads. But I stood up with my shaky bit of paper, sat down within 30 seconds because I was so nervous. But after being with them for a year, because you pay you for your annual thing, I found two different things. One is by 6 months, I realized that I wouldn't want to give my like I wouldn't want to use them myself. So why would I recommend my like favorite client to them? And two, my actual like ability to stand up and speak about myself had improved considerably. And if that's what I got out of it, then actually knowing now that being a public speaker and stuff, it was worth it. It was worth
Oh,
that.
good. I'm
Those
glad
6
you got your
a.m.
money's
business
worth.
breakfasts.
I got a client from there because somebody in my UK network did my graphic design,
Yeah.
went to an online one of those meetings that were talking in code, and somebody that was in the room knew him and needed somebody help with social media. So there you go. That shortcut it, and I gained a client. So it does work. It's not my preferred way of doing things, but they've obviously helped you with your speaking as
My
well.
confidence.
Yeah, it's not the one where we make toast. That's a different one. Toast.
Are you working harder than ever, but feeling like you're getting nowhere? You're not alone. Most business owners I speak to feel trapped in their own success, working 60 hours plus a week, missing family time, and honestly, they're not even sure why they feel so stuck. They just know something needs to change. If this sounds familiar, I've created a quick quiz to help you find out why you feel stuck in your business. It takes only 2 minutes and I give you clarity on exactly what's keeping you trapped and, more importantly, how to break free. The link's in the description, so why not take it now? No.
Toast, not that one. I've been to that one and I feel terrible going to that one here because I'm like one of the few native English speakers in the room and I'm like, I can't do it, it's not fair.
Because what do the Toastmasters in the Netherlands
Yeah.
actually speak in English?
Yes. So I've
Wow.
been and I got a client and I was like, I'm not coming back because I just feel awful.
Don't
How
feel
can I
awful.
measure you all on your ers and your ums when this is my mother tongue? So yeah, not for me.
I still and like now in my video, but for me, it's about being yourself. And I would like to go to a Toastmasters in Spain, but they don't do that. If you go to a
No
Toastmasters in Spain,
hablan inglés.
They speak
No.
Spanish.
I know she's Spanish.
No, it's about as good as my Dutch, love.
Oh, right, okay. We'll do Dutch another time, yes.
My favorite Dutch word is gezellig. I just love
Gezellig.
that word.
Yeah,
And
it's a
we
good
can't
word.
translate it to English. It's like cozy or cute, but it's doesn't it can be transcribed. I think it's the best word ever.
It is. You need a h at the beginning.
Yeah, well, Gerard has a ch at the
Yes.
beginning of
Oh,
his name
yeah.
too.
I
It
bet
took
it
me
does.
3 years to be able to pronounce my partner's name right.
Oh, bless. And he's stuck with you still.
He's still stuck with me. He is actually stuck with
Yes.
me, Julie.
Yes.
So, if thinking about your journey now of like the different careers that you've had before you went to the Netherlands and like being able to be an entrepreneur in a different country, like anybody who is looking to move and be an expat, but they don't have anything that they can do, what advice would you give them to be able to get to understand what their skill set is and to be able to make a living for themselves?
Oh, that's a big question. So, I mean, a lot of people that are in my network have had corporate careers, so they almost like know what the skills are, know what they like and what they dislike. So
Yeah.
it is around what you're good at. So, networking, I used to do sales a long time ago before corporate life. I was made redundant 3 times, and I think I've always been networking and didn't realize, I didn't go to networking events as such, but I was just, around and being helpful and seeing
Yeah.
how that went. And it does open doors for yourself. So I think it's very much of look at what you're good at and see what is needed in the market. I do see some people that concern me that have left corporate careers that they didn't like or wasn't treated a certain way and then decided to coach in that space. And I'm a bit like sat there going, well, if your company didn't realize it was an issue, how are other companies going to see it's an issue? So it's going to be about testing and it's going to go about
Yeah.
talking to people. So I did an entrepreneurship program last year. And even though I'd already started my business, somebody in the group ahead of me, who is a friend as well, she was saying, you need to do the questionnaire. And I was just like, stop telling them to go networking. I was just like, yeah, well, that's the answer. And she was like, no, you've got to ask really wide. And I won't say you're hoping for other answers, but when you're starting out fresh, you need as many answers and you might find something you weren't expecting. But to work on something and polish it and polish it and polish it and launch it to what would I say? Crickets on tumbleweed
Kids,
is
yeah.
not what we want.
No.
So we need iterations, and we were just talking about a brainstorming session this morning, and the equal one, which I'm not sure I actually had, and I'd be interested to know if you did, is if you're not embarrassed about your first launch, you launch too late. I was like, oh,
Oh,
that's a bit
interesting.
ouchy, is that one? So don't get me wrong, my first in-person networking event had no networking involved in it. What
Oh,
was I
okay.
thinking? I obviously forgot that word. So luckily, I invited some friendly people that said I really enjoyed it. There was no networking there
Wow.
because I was too focused on all the other things, and I was like, they're just going to talk to each other. I don't need to tell them to talk to each other, but I
I
did need
think
to tell them to talk to
I
each
think
other.
you have a point there, though. I think sometimes when you facilitate something, so like in the Momentum Academy, we have a session every single Wednesday, and once a month they are just questions and answer sessions. And one night I came away from the meeting, and Herad said to me, "Did that meeting go well?" I'm like, "It went really well. Can you tell?" He said, "I heard it in your voice." And the difference was, it was the point a few months ago when it changed from me answering the questions to them each other answering the questions for them. And they got to know each other. And like now it's a peer-to-peer group because they're all kind of in the same, they've realized they all have the same issues, or one's been there and or one's a little bit further on than the other. And when I'm not the only one giving answers, that makes my heart burst. I absolutely love it. And that's what Hirad had heard in the meeting because, like, he had been home from work. And I think that's it. When you put people together, they can be networking and they don't even know they're doing it.
Yeah. Totally. And I agree about the peer-to-peer. That's what they do in the brainstorm as well. Because I just sit there and I let other people, and I try and get across is even if you walk into that room and you don't know anybody, none of us has got it sorted. It might look good, but it's held together with sticky tape and string. And we're probably thinking, don't go to the bottom of that web page and click on that link because it don't work. And, or I've just sent an email and the whole thing doesn't work quite well, but I'm going to do it. And hopefully nobody opens it in the first 5 minutes. We're all doing it. Well, not say we're all winging it. I'm sure Stephen Bartlett and his gang are doing okay. But the rest of the normal people, we are just figuring it out. So showing up. And also people say to me, why would somebody help me if I asked for help? And I was just like, just figure it out. It's a bit like a teacher and a pupil, isn't it? Is a teacher knows the answer, pupil doesn't necessarily know the answer. If you don't ask, you're gonna just, we can watch YouTube and ask ChatGPT. We can spend hours and hours and hours. Ask the expert, they'll answer you in 2 minutes. They're happy because and people say, well, why they would do it? And I say, well, if you go out and ask somebody, the answers are gonna be yes, I'll give you the answer. No, I won't give the answer, or I'll just ignore you. So you've got a 30% chance there. That's a
Yeah.
fair chance. It's better than just being stuck.
It is. And I think quite a lot of people who are further on in their journey are happy to share their successes and their mistakes. I share everything on like social media
Yeah.
because I think it makes people realize that we are all normal, like you just said. But like I hate these social media posts that say this is the one thing that rich people don't want you to know. Like, what a load of bollocks. Because rich people are more than happy to help young people who are in a lesser position with information that is going to help them. It's not
Yeah.
taking away money from, there is
No.
enough money in the world for everyone to have abundance. And it's like, so ask, yeah, by all means, ask somebody who's further ahead than you because you'd be surprised. And I think the worst that can happen, other than, well, they could ignore you, but if they want paying for that privilege, they'll tell you, yes,
Yes.
absolutely, I'll help you. It will cost you X amount of pounds. If you've got the money, take it because you're gonna get when you pay an expert for their time, they're gonna give you a hell of a lot more because they need in the back of their minds, they're thinking, I need to make it worth this person paying for my time. So it's like sometimes it's better to pay because that person is going to make sure you get the answers you want.
Yeah, and I went to a conference in Dublin last year, and the first day was quite tough going because I was just like, oh, I'm nowhere near this level of business, and it was really hard. Second day was better because we were talking about referrals and collaborations. I was like, I was accidentally doing collaborations at the beginning, and that I've seen it. It seems to be a thing in the last month or two. I keep saying is um, competition happens at the bottom, collaboration happens at the top.
Yep. So true. It is so
And it's
true.
just like money doesn't need to change hands, just good vibes and I like you, how can I help you? And
Yeah.
one of my best collaborators um is my photographer. And she gets networking and I get visibility. And it's just like and we met and we just clicked straight away. I didn't go for something. Well, she needed help with a portfolio. I was like, I love my photograph taken. Let's do
Yeah.
that. And off we go.
Like that. I listened to a networking thing yesterday, and it was about like she was talking about visibility, and her mantra, which I absolutely love, is if you want to empower a woman, give her a microphone, right? But she was talking about how she's met so many women who don't want to be behind the camera or don't want to be behind the microphone. I'm thinking, that's not me. Give me a
No, it's not me
microphone. I
either.
want visibility, please.
What happened? Do you think we were dropped on our heads when we were kids? I don't know because I was having a really good conversation with some men because I don't have that many men in my networking group, but it is
Okay.
inclusive. Is we were trying to figure out because we were at Revitalize in Glasgow,
Yep,
and it's led by a man, Lee
it
Foster
is.
Hiley,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
so
highly.
there is more men in that group. So we were talking about it, and I think we figured it out even though I don't necessarily like it, is for women, it's confidence. They need that.
Yep.
I think we should like extract it and sell it, you and I,
Yeah,
Tracy.
I
And for the
do.
men, it's ego, apparently, whether the men
Yep.
want to admit it is as well. So they won't be vulnerable because they think they have to, act like it's all figured out. And women don't want to be confident because they're seen like they're showing off or they're a bit
Does.
bolshy or whatever it is. And it's just like, but there is the thing about the more people that know you, there's going to be the people that like, more people that like you and more people that don't like you. And it's just like, but that's good. Also, let's talk. We don't want to get into people leaving your email list because at first it was like, how dare you? You came along for something, you've taken it, and you've gone again. And it was just like, see ya, bye. There's more room for other people that are
Yep.
actually interested. So, yeah, so we get over that hump, and all of it's, ups and downs, but
It is.
hopefully more ups than downs.
It is. I totally agree. Like, I got asked once by a gentleman business owner why I ran a female networking. And I said to him, I said, most women who first start out in business, the thought of going to a mixed networking event is just off the cards. They can't comprehend what that's going to do with to their confidence. And like I remember I used to be the that person. Like I used to stand at the back of the room before phone, so I wasn't even on my mobile phone. I was just like trying to be a wallflower in the thing, trying. And as my confidence grew, I realized there was a solution to this. And what I used to do is I used to walk in a room and to find the person who looked like I used to be. So find the person who was trying to make themselves part of the like the wall, part of the like wallpaper.
Furniture.
And I'd go over and I'd say, in my exact words, I'd say, I'm a little bit nervous today. Do you mind if I talk to you? And you could see the
Yeah,
relief on that person's face.
yeah,
And I've made so many friends by doing that, by the way, because I've just gone over and I've just been human. I've just been like, and done what I wished somebody had done to me like 20 years
yes,
ago. So
yeah,
that's why I feel like sometimes we do need female networking, but that's what I used to see my job was to make them confident enough so that they could go to mixed networking and feel absolutely fine walking in that room. And that was my job. So it's kind of like, yeah, I totally understand. It's very different.
I call it the rule of one or three. One person stood on their own, go and talk to them. Three people stood together, you can go and hang around and say hi. Two, leave them alone. They might be having an argument, they might be in a relationship. You do not know what's going on there. You might want to go and have a listen, but when you're in a
It
different
depends how
country, it's
well
a
you
little
know
bit more
them.
difficult. It is. Might be some juicy gossip, you never know, but I would generally leave them alone.
Your business is successful, so why do you feel so miserable? Here's the thing, success doesn't always automatically equal freedom. I see profitable business owners every day who can't take a holiday, who can't switch off, and they feel completely overwhelmed by their own achievements. Sound familiar? Well, I've created a simple quiz that pinpoints exactly why you feel stuck in your business. It will give you the clarity you need to move from being trapped to being free. Why don't you take the quiz now? The link's in the description below. Yeah, that's really true. It is easier, especially like a group of three have it depends how close they are as well, because the triangles can be quite close
Yes.
sometimes, can't it? But if it's reading body language, I think, and
Yeah,
reading to see whether, because sometimes there's one person in that triangle that's kind of feeling a little bit left out anyway, so that they would be happy for you to come in. So yeah, I think it's something that puts a lot of people off networking, isn't it? But
it is. It is.
confidence.
Mm.
So if you could go back in time, what's one bit of advice you would give yourself about starting your business? Would you have done it sooner now you know what entrepreneurship's like?
What bit of advice? Well, I say that I try anything once, but that's not true because I'm still not gonna do skydiving. I'm good for that. But I would say trust your gut is definitely something, and I don't do FOMO, but if I keep circling back to something, whether it's a program or it's a tool or it's an event, and I keep looking at something, it's just check your diary and go. Check your funds and think, yes, I am going to do it. Or ask more questions. And I think that's a really expat thing. I have a lot of Americans moving here because the visa's really easy to get. And I'm
Right,
really
okay.
empowering those people because for some reason I thought Americans were quite outspoken, but they're not.
Mm.
And because I say to them, if you paid for a service and you're not sure, you can keep asking because you've paid for something. You can ask me if you don't understand what you've signed up with for me, but and they're like, "Oh, can I do that?" And I was like, "Yeah," because you're in a different country. And as a previous manager used to say to me, it can be just a bag of words. So I'm sure it's the same for you in Spain. You can translate something from Spanish to English and go, it's some English words in a sentence that I don't understand.
It's in the wrong order.
And yeah, and also just because it's the cultural thing and this is how it works in my country. So I would assume, and also customer service is virtually non-existent here as well. So if you don't like it, say something. If you and people see it as being a bit pushy, but if you invest in something as a business owner or you thought it was going to be something, is say something because people might have missed something or forgotten to send you something or that, there's just something not quite there. Um, Feedback is a gift. Is a gift.
It
I
is
went
again,
to an well, I went to an
100%.
event last year and I thought, God, at 50 something, I'm still learning that you should ask permission to give feedback. I think if it's a business, oh, I know, we're still learning. There you go. There's your homework for today. Because you can actually say to somebody who likes some feedback and they say no, and you go, okay, move on. But you need feedback in your business. You need feedback every day. So I just say is if it feels right, do it. So I'd probably say do a bit more of that. I don't feel like I've missed any opportunities in this business. I feel like I've been quite pushy when I didn't think the things were right. There's
Okay.
still one thing still bubbling away and they don't know that I've got their number and I will hunt them down. No, I don't mean that. But I do feel like I've been treated differently because I'm a non-Dutch person and I will hold on to that. You know,
Interesting.
keep me warm in this snowy weather and it'll be fine. But I think again, it comes back to confidence in women because when I used to help people, I used to work in recruitment towards the end of my career was, why is it there's five things on a job description, women go, I can do three, oh, I'm not going to apply. And I'm just like, oh, Right, why do we get out of bed today? It's just like, oh, please don't. And men, not all of them, not all you men out there, will just go, I can do two things. I'll just say I can do the rest. People want you to grow into things.
Yeah,
People
they
want you
do.
to develop and create things. If it's nailed on and you can do it with your eyes shut, you're going to be bored, they're going to be bored. And same with business. If you're not evolving and developing yourself, then it's going to get pretty stale pretty quick. So yeah, just keep
I
going.
love that. I actually really love that. I think, um, like in one of the groups that I'm in, they actually say if you're not evolving, you're dying. And it's quite harsh,
Oh,
but realistically, it's true. You know, especially in this age, with the AI age and everything that's going on at the minute, we really do need to be keeping reinventing little bits of our business to make sure we're not left behind. We joke about the fact that my daughter's a nurse, my son-in-law's a plumber. Their jobs are more secure than both
mm,
Gerard's and I because they will use their hands, they use their person, we use our brains, we sit at a computer all day. And people who do that, they really do have to be aware that they really do need to be moving forward because that chair's just going to be pulled out from underneath them, literally. So,
definitely. But I would say if life throws something at you that's unexpected, like a redundancy, I've been made redundant 3 times, and we can launch a redundancy podcast at another time. The first one hurts, and then it builds your confidence after that. And but people say to me, it doesn't always do that for people, and it was just like, well, what am I going to do? Go live in a cave, to be
yeah.
honest. And also working in banking during the banking crisis, I didn't break the banks, by the way, is it was gonna happen somewhat, but we actually, both my husband was in banking as well. We
Right,
thank our lucky
okay.
stars that happened because
Yeah,
we would still be in our hometown doing, the jobs that get smaller and smaller, and we'd hate it even more. And I've still got friends that are there and they absolutely detest it, but they just can't see. They feel like they've got themselves a little bit caught. Whereas we took redundancy, we paid off debts, we went self-employed, we went, what the hell, let's move countries. Maybe we wouldn't have done that if we just got our comfy little job.
yes, you
So we
wouldn't.
do thank that situation. Thank you, banking crisis, 2008, if you're old enough to remember that year.
I started my business in 2006, Julie.
Oh
Well, I went
no,
full,
you like
so
a
I started my business
challenge.
in 2002. I went fully self-employed in 2006. And then the crisis hit. And I didn't lose any clients, but I did not gain any new ones either. And so I was at my friend's house. We're still friends now. And she said, oh, she owned a tanning salon, and she said, one of my staff's pregnant. She's going on like maternity. She said, who wants a job for 9 months? She said, I'm going to really struggle to get it's 2 nights a week. And I went, I'll do it. And she went, what? I said, I'll do it. I said, for 9 months, that sounds perfect in this crisis that we're in. I said, and
Mm,
hopefully after that, I mean, that was in 2008. So my daughter would have only been 12, 13. And
mm.
I literally went to work for my mum had her for 2 evenings a week because I'd have done anything to keep the roof over my daughter's head, and I didn't want to like go backwards in not being self-employed. So I did it.
Yeah. And I think when I was listening to one of your other podcasts, I think the pride getting in the way, it so worries me because I know you were saying that, I think it was on Ashley's, where somebody was saying that they get themselves in debt to have a nice car. And it
I
was just like,
know.
come to the Netherlands. I didn't have a car when I first came here because I wasn't going to pay
They're
for a
extortionate.
permit for a start off because I'm too tight. Second of all, I'm pretty short, so I had to go on a kid's bike that was second hand. And then I got my own bike. And it was just like, and then I have got a car now, but I was like, do I really need a car? And it was COVID, so it was more for let's go out and see the country while it's safe and not get on public transport and let anybody cough on me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just like you know that old phrase, pride before a fall, and it's just like, what makes you happy? Worrying over my bank statement doesn't make me happy. So why don't we just like rein it in a bit and get over ourselves?
I have seen in 25 years of being an accountant so many business owners who drive around in big posh cars and then pay massive amounts of taxes and they could have had in their own pocket
Mm.
because of ego. because that's all it is. It's just ego. They drive around in these flash cars thinking it makes them look more successful. Yet I know business owners who are more frugal, who drive around in sensible cars that have a lot more money in their bank account or a lot more money on their tax return than what these other people do. And it is shocking. And I do know about the car prices in the Netherlands because Gerard compares them in England and in Spain all the time. He's like, in the Netherlands, that's this much, and in the Netherlands, they're this much.
I
And
know.
he sees the price difference now by being in different countries, because he spends his time in Spain and in England, that he sees how expensive they are. So the Netherlands, like, they push towards having a bike.
Yes. And apparently that you can still cycle them in winter. I've been watching people, I'm like, I'm all right for that. And they've been rowing. God bless them. Love them bitches.
I'm waiting for the little Instagram ones of people falling off their bikes in the snow.
Oh yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
gonna come, bless them.
It is.
But I mean, it is so much easier to ride a bike, and then in England, we both know they're not built for.
No.
You just can't do it the same. So it's nice that they have that environment, I think. Although I could probably count on two hands how many times I actually got on a bike.
All right. Well, you can do it when you're over in summer again.
No, I'm coming to see you in summer.
And you can do
coming
it
to
side by side, the one they do for older folk.
I asked Gerard once if I could get like a three-wheeler to be able to put the dog in the front basket,
Yeah.
and he went, no. He said, oh, only disabled
I was going to say my
people have
friend's
three-wheelers.
mum's got one of those, but she has had a stroke, so I don't know. But they cycle with like oxygen on and everything. They rock hard of the
They
Dutchies.
are. I've seen videos of people with like mattresses and all sorts like
Oh
on their
yeah,
bike. It's crazy.
yeah.
So, but yeah,
I know.
fab. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, Julie, as always. So can you just let people know? I mean, you've got your background, lovely background anyway, but do you want to just give people an idea of how to get hold of you, please?
Yeah, sure. So I hang out on LinkedIn during the day. I'm on Instagram in the evenings. You can scan my QR code and come and join us for we co-work first thing on a Monday morning. If that time zone suits you. We brainstorm every week. And I have wonderful guest expert speakers like Tracy, who actually comes and is in person in the Netherlands as well. So if you're curious to meet me and my community, I've also got a Facebook group that I'm super protective of because we don't get the support of other countries, but there's over 2,000 business owners in that group that I can like slowly open the VIP gates for the right people. Come and join us. My group are really motivated. They are sort of mid 30s to mid 60s, and they've seen a lot and heard a lot, and they mean business. They mean business. There's a catchphrase I didn't know I got. They mean business.
That's lovely. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Did we really talk about money? We just talked about
You
all
did
sorts.
a little bit. I told you. It's just like, it's about business. And I think being relatable. And I think people listening to that is definitely going to be relatable. Ashley's been listening to all my podcasts, by the way. He loves them. So he'll probably go, oh, I got to mention, because I know what
You're
he's
gonna
like.
mention, woo.
Thank you for watching to the end. I really appreciate it, and it shows that you are serious about moving your business forward. I want to share something with you. When I was little, I watched my mum skip meals so my brother and I could eat because she didn't have enough money to feed us all. That pain changed everything. I promised myself I would never need to rely on anyone else financially. I worked relentlessly towards financial independence. Even as a young parent of 19, I still worked. And once I achieved financial independence, I became passionate that everyone deserves the same. But here's what I've discovered. Successful business owners can feel financially trapped just in a different way. And that's why I created the Money Metrics Academy to help you understand your essential business numbers in under an hour a week. No jargon, no overwhelm, just the clarity you need for true financial independence. Why not join the free entry-level membership and see how the community can help you? Let's get unstuck together.